Good morning, good morning. Happy New Year. It's 2025. Who would have thought? But we're here. We made it. Must say, I haven't made a video in ages. My children left yesterday. They were visiting from Thailand for nearly 3 weeks. And it was hectic. Just as wonderful it also was not so wonderful at times. I mean, they're not used to visiting us. The kids are still 8 and 6, and it's sometimes crazy. So I had all these plans with them to do all these projects, and at the end we only made one video. I'll put the link below about I did some jelly printing with them, and it was such fun. And I had all these plans. I wanted to dye some fabric with them and make dresses and shorts, and wanted to paint acrylic paints on canvas and all these things. We didn't get to that, but we got to many other wonderful times spent and amazing memories. On my Facebook and Instagram, I have all my photos and so on. And then yesterday, as they were leaving early in the morning, I was heartbreaking. My heart was breaking. I was really sad, as I've been every time they leave. You're sad. And as I was in this heartbreaking stage, I thought by myself, you know what? What's the use? They come for less than 3 weeks, and then they leave. And is this heartbreak? Is it worth it? That was what I thought. And then I realized something. And you cannot have the heartbreak if you don't have the love. It's the same coin. I mean, we always think, it is absolutely terrible when, let's say you are married for 50 years and your spouse fall away. And the heartbreak is just crazy. And you think, is it worth it? But the wonder of it is, you cannot have the 50 wonderful years and think you will not have the heartbreak. The one leads to the other, and it's the same with life. Everything. You can't experience abundance, the absolute thankfulness, gratefulness for abundance, if you haven't experienced lack. You cannot experience true forgiveness if you haven't gone through, let's call it, abuse. Whatever, the one leads to the other. And the deeper the one is, the deeper the love is, the deeper will be the pain when they leave. So, yes, you can say, okay, I'm not going to love because, again, it's too hurtful. But will you really give up that beautiful period of love? No, I think every single person will say, after like I did after my heartbreak, excruciating heartbreak when they left, I realized, the love that we experience and feel for one another, and I will not change that for the world, even these terrible heartbreaking goodbyes. But now I want to share something else. It's getting better because I am getting more and more healed. I made a video about this. Don't ask me which one it is and where it is, but I will just share it shortly, because what I'm experiencing is our spiritual source, our Father, whatever, He told us, in this world, in this realm, you will have difficulties. You will have difficult times. You will go through difficult things. And this is one of them. I will go through this difficult saying goodbye periods. But I also have the love. So it's not a curse. It's not wrong. It's not something I can avoid if I want to experience the unconditional love of my Father inside me and inside my kids and whatever. So He promises us peace and joy in the midst of whatever we must go through in this realm. And that is what I am starting to experience. So let me explain. I'm adopted. My biological parents left me in the hospital, putting me up for adoption. You know, it's also that sin. My biological parents were in school, first year university, that's all that I know. So in those days, it was a terrible sin to become pregnant without being married. So I was put up for adoption, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, the religious spirit. So I was in the hospital for 6 days before I was adopted by my most wonderful, awesome parents that loved me unconditionally. That's where I experienced unconditional love for the first time. I mean, they loved me as their own flesh and blood, call it that. So I've experienced that. But because of the rejection seeds that were sown and the fear, even from before I was born in my mother's womb, can you imagine feeling that fear and that anguish and that pain of not being wanted, well, you know, whatever. So I've experienced that in the spiritual realm, soulish realm, even from before my birth. So I got born into this realm with all these rejection seeds being sown in me. Then I was left in the hospital for 6 days before I got adopted. So throughout my life, especially the early years, I always never felt good enough, always felt most probably rejected. I didn't realize it, but I never felt good enough. And then when I really started this spiritual path, about 45, 50, my healing started. So every single time when I felt these emotions and intense pain, I sat with it and I surrender it and I just call out, and I always called my spiritual source, my spiritual father, my life within, and I would just call out and say, please come and heal me. I surrender this rejection. I surrender this horrific pain, and I am just calling upon you. Come in and just fill that void and that pain. So the first time my kid left, my first one, he moved overseas, went and lived in China just after school. So, that was hard when he got on that plane. And then we went to visit him and his wife. He got married, came to be married here. It was the most beautiful wedding on the beach at our home. It was gorgeous. They left for China and we went to visit. So the first times I had to really say goodbye to them, I felt physically ill. For 2 weeks before saying goodbye, I started to feel physically ill because of the intense pain of having to say goodbye, of having to leave them again, you know? And, but over the years, they've been married for 14 years now, and my other kid lives also far away, 8 hours away in Cape Town, so it's the goodbye quite a lot. Then I had to say goodbye to my parents when they moved, passed on, and so I had many, many goodbyes over the years. But the latest time when I started on my spiritual path of healing, I was just calling out and just surrendering the pain, sat in the pain, surrender it, sat in the truth of I was never alone. The spirit life was always in me. We're always one spirit. And I started in that truth and sat in that truth and called out through my pain towards the truth. And every time it got a little bit better. Every time the pain of saying goodbye got better. So even yesterday, it was awesome. They were leaving very early. Yes, I cried about once or twice a little bit, feeling heartache and before they left. Even when my other son, he left the day before, I was crying when he left, but it's normal. You know, you feel heartache, there they go, it's sad. But it wasn't that excruciating, life-threatening pain. I didn't feel that anymore. So yesterday, I was hearing they were getting up and they were getting ready. I choose to not go with to the airport. I say my goodbyes here because it's just easier for me. And for them most probably too, because Oma cries all the way from here to the airport and there and blah, blah, blah. So it just works for us. But the car was very small and they had all the luggage, and at one stage I didn't know, will I have to travel with to bring the other car back? But you know what? I was actually okay. I got up, I felt fine, a little bit heart sore, but really I could live. I could say goodbye. Only cried when they really gave me a hug and we were exchanging thoughts and last words and things. I was heartbroken. That's normal, you know, because I've been healed from that excruciating pain of being left behind, left alone, rejected. I've been healed. So that's what I just wanted to share once again. We do not understand each other's pain because we haven't gone through the same things. I entered this realm broken, and all of us do, but because of my adoption and rejection. So no matter how much love my parents gave me, adopted parents, I still had this brokenness that was destroying me over the years. And it's only when I started to walk with the life in me, acknowledging the life in me as unconditional love, as my healer and my whatever I need, I started on my healing journey. And that's why I am so thankful. I've got nothing to boast about, believe you me. I'm just thankful. My kids left, yes, I'm sad, and little things happened, and then tears just sprung to my eyes, but that's fine. That's the other side of the coin of love them unconditionally and passionately, is the saying goodbye and the heartbreak. But it's no longer destroying me, ripping the life out of me, destroying my peace and joy. I'm starting to even experience the peace of joy that we are promised in the midst of any situation. I've really experienced it these last couple of days, even though I am sad and I am crying on and off. It's okay. I realize that's normal. That is okay. But if pain destroys you and steals the life in you and makes you physically ill and depressed and, then you need some deep, deep healing. And the only way that I experienced that and walked through that, it's been 14 years, actually longer, of every time when I'm in a situation and I am experiencing excruciating feelings, whether it's hate, resentment, anger, sadness, this poor me, self-pity. Oh, I'm been left behind again, and poor me, my kids live overseas, and sit in that self-pity. All of those things, they steal and stifle and destroy the abundant life in us that we have in order to live victoriously through every moment. So husband asked me this morning, what is your New Year's resolution or whatever? He said, most people want to lose weight. That is their first thing. I said, all that I want is I just want to learn more and more, better and better. When I talk to the kids, so I always make fun, better and better, I just want to learn how to walk in the spirit life in me, moment by moment, because that's the only way I'm going to get through anything. More and more I want to learn and walk in the life that is flowing in and through me and you in this moment. I don't anymore want to live in some future, in some vain imaginations of what might happen. I don't want to walk in that fear anymore. I just want to walk and live in this moment, knowing all my needs are truly met because of the abundant life in me that's flowing and providing all my needs as they come up, if I can call it that. And that happens in this moment. So that's all. That is my wish for me and for you in this 2025 year, that we may learn to start to fully enjoy the fullness of the life in us that is available, always flowing through us in this moment. That I will stop and you will stop fearing the future, because whenever we get wherever we're getting, whatever, it will be this moment also. All that we have is this moment. And even in the midst of having my children here, this 3 weeks, remember my husband and I and Bella Blobs, the Boston Terrier, it's the three of us at home. Very, very laid back, very calm, very peaceful, very still. So all of a sudden, my 2 boys came to visit, and the one with his wife and the 2 kids from Thailand. And it was at times chaotic in this house. Meltdowns, you will know all about that. Difference of these ways of life. I mean, they are their own family now, family unit. Now all of a sudden they're here with Opa and Oma, and the other son is here, and there's just lots of things going on, and some at times it was rough. So even in the midst of having them here and being so grateful, and it was still tough. And all I could do to get through those moments was the same that I need to do to get through this moment and the goodbye situation. Moment by moment, turn within towards the life with me and holding on to that, knowing it's all well. Everything is unfolding as it should. I've got all that I need, the life in me providing me with wisdom, joy, deep peace, unconditional love, patience. Whatever I needed, I get in this moment. And that is what my desire is for me and you for the so-called future. Not fearing tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to have its own problems, let me tell you that. But when we get there, it will also be now, and now all our needs are met. Isn't that awesome? We've got the life. So why worry? Why fear? Trusting that the life in us is all over, knows the way, will lead us, will give us what we need in order to do what we need to do in this realm. That's what it means to live by faith. Faith in the life in you to provide all your needs so that the life in you can do through you whatever the life in you wants to do. That's what it means to die to the self and live by the Spirit. Something like that. And that is what I am learning, because I've realized my things, my life in this realm's never going to turn out as my ego wants it to. It's never going to turn out that way. Things happen. Things we don't expect, things we don't long for, heartache of saying goodbye to the kids, whatever. Things are going to happen. So how am I going to cope? By only living moment by moment, trusting that all is well with me and my loved ones. Because the life is also in them. The life is also leading them to become who they need to become moment by moment, so that the life in them can live its life through them. So nothing is wrong. Everything is unfolding as it should. And that is what it means to live by faith and get through life in this realm victoriously, filled with peace and joy. I don't mean happiness. Yippee! They're leaving, It means I have what it takes deep down to cope with them leaving, without falling apart, losing all my life, but I need to keep going. So this is a long video that I'm actually only sharing talking to myself and just sharing what I have been experiencing these last couple of days. And the awesome thing, why I am doing this video, I wasn't planning to say all of this, but you know how it goes. When they were leaving, and I was yesterday a little bit unsettled, and the first thing is what I did. I came into my studio, my work room. I came to my vintage cloth, all my little lappies, all the cloth, all the beautiful linens, and my embroidery linens and cottons. And I just came and I just touched them. I was just holding them close to me because they are my loves, the things that brings me so much peace and joy in the midst of any situation. I immediately got my sketchbook once again. I haven't even touched the sketchbook till let me tell you. So I immediately went in search for it and just started to draw and just started to come and just hold my linens. I know it's crazy, but that is the things that grounds me in this realm, that makes me experience deep peace and joy, stills my mind and my emotions, is when I create. So I am actually wearing today my dress that I made. Remember this cloth, linen, duvet cover that was very, very faded and filled with many inks in it, on marks and stuff. So I took my material paints. I'll also put that video below, and I hand painted this dress, used my lavenders to just make lavender marks on it, dyed it with my cloth paints, material paints to get it to this. Then I stitch it. You can see I kept it, didn't put in any hems, and the more I wash it, the more it frays, and I just love it. I put my little doilies, I also painted them, washed them, and I put them on. And today, you know what? we're going to a barbecue braai this afternoon later, but I just feel like creating another dress. This time with white and creams, little bit of orange and creams, and just doing something. I'm also feeling this urge to start hand stitching instead of just doing that on my back or making a stitcher thing on. Do more hand stitch, use different cloths and hand stitch different stitches. I feel like doing that. So who knows, but isn't it awesome? As I say, I'm into today. Life happens today. Yes, my kids are flowing back to Thailand. My other child is back in Cape Town. We're back at home all on our own. So I'm just moving back into what makes me peaceful. And that is creating and doing my handwork and my stuff. Working in my garden. Just finding my peace and joy once again in the midst of what's happening now, today, in this moment. And that's how I will not try. I will learn, practice tomorrow. When I get there, I will also just find those things that makes me feel alive, come alive, makes me realize that the abundant life is in me and flowing through me. And that is how I am going to get through 2025, by learning and practicing how to walk in the Spirit, the life in me that is providing in all my needs in this moment, because it flows through me, blah, blah, blah. And I am just going to learn and practice how to live fully, victoriously in every moment. Love you lots. And this is my message to you too. This is the only way we're going to get through victoriously, filled with peace and joy in the midst of any situation. And who doesn't want that? Who wants to be angry and upset and resentful and fearful? Because life just doesn't turn out your way, so you sit in this disappointment. I don't want to be in that. I want to be in the life, in the spirit of joyfulness, peacefulness, love. I'm not in this world. I no longer want to go through this realm filled with unease. I want to feel ease, peace, joy in the midst of everything I will have to go through. And I know, as I've learned now these days, that if I want to experience unconditional, overwhelming love, I will also have to experience excruciating pain. It's in the same pot. But when I start walking in the life in me, in the midst of the excruciating pain, I will experience peace and joy, knowing it's good, it's all well. I'll get through it. All is well with my soul. Love you lots. May this, no, I don't want to say may this year, may this day, may this moment be filled and overflowing with peace and joy. May you be overflowing with peace and joy and gratefulness and unconditional love in this moment. That is my hope, for you and for me, that the abundant, everlasting, all-consuming life in us, who is unconditional love, that we will remove as the Spirit shows us moment by moment what is still in the way of the unconditional love, that we will find the strength that also comes from the Spirit life in us to deal with those things. Because that are the things, fear and hate and disappointment and whatever, that blocks the Spirit life in us from flowing freely through and out of us. So may we walk in that absolute power while we deal with whatever is blocking the life in us from flowing peacefully, lovingly out of us. Love you lots, is it from Zetster's Lab. If somebody has listened to up to this point, may you have a blessed, fantastic, amazing now. Love you lots. And if I am starting this, I will most probably make a video. I don't know at this stage what my next step will be. As I say, I do feel like working with my cloth today. Love you, is it from Zetster's Lab. We've got this.